two people, same paycheck, same discipline. Both put away $500 a month. Both earn the same average return. Both never miss a payment. The only difference between them is 10 years. One started at 30, the other at 40. By the time they retire, one has about $900,000. The other has $405,000. That's a gap of nearly $500,000 for the exact same effort. And here's the part that should stop you. The person who started earlier didn't save much more. This video is the real math of what waiting actually costs, and why it's almost never about how much you put in. Let's run the two lives at the same time. Both save $500 a month. Both earn 7% a year, roughly what the US stock market has averaged over the long run, after inflation. One clock starts at 30, the other at 40. Watch the first few years. The two lines are almost touching. After a year, the early starter is ahead by a rounding error. After 3 years, still barely a gap. If you were the 40-year-old glancing over, you'd feel fine. You're basically neck and neck. And this is exactly the trap. Because those first quiet years, where waiting feels completely harmless, are the most valuable years in the entire chart. You just can't see it yet. Here's why it's such a common trap. The average person doesn't get serious about retirement until their early 30s. One survey out of Stanford put the typical starting age at 32, and serious planning much later than that. So if you feel behind, you are painfully normal. The problem is that normal is quietly expensive, and nobody hands you the bill until decades later. Now let's let the clock run and watch what harmless turns into. Because for the first 10 years, the cost of waiting is invisible. It's in the second 10 years that the floor drops out. Push the clock to age 50. Both people have been investing steadily. The early starter for 20 years now, the late starter for 10. The early starter has about $260,000. The late starter, about $87,000. Same monthly payment. The gap is already 3 to 1, and neither of them has even retired yet. So where did that come from? They only started 10 years apart. Here's the engine. At 7%, money roughly doubles every 10 years. That's the rule of 72. 72 divided by your return gives the doubling time. 72 divided by 7 is about 10. And notice which doubling matters most. Going from 40,000 to 80,000 adds 40 grand. Going from 400,000 to 800,000 adds 400 grand. The last doubling is worth more than all the earlier ones combined. Starting 10 years earlier doesn't add 10 years of savings. It buys your money one extra doubling. And the extra doubling is the biggest one there is. Which brings us to the number that reframes the whole thing. Across their 30s, the early starter put in $60,000 more than the late starter. 60 grand. And that 60,000 turned into an extra 495,000 by retirement. You are not paying for the money you didn't save. You're paying for the doublings that money never got to do. So the cost of waiting isn't the contributions you skipped, it's the compounding you skipped. Which raises the honest question every 40-year-old is now asking. Is it too late? Run both clocks all the way to 65. 900,000 versus 405. For the identical $500 a month. That canyon between the two lines. That's the price of 10 years. But here's where most videos would leave you feeling doomed, and that's not the honest ending. Because the same brutal math that punishes waiting also hands you the exact lever to fight back. If you're the 40-year-old and you want to still land near 900,000 by 65, you can. You just have to replace the missing time with money. Instead of $500 a month, you'd save about $1,100. That's the real trade. Time and money are interchangeable in this equation, but time is the cheaper currency by a mile. The 30-year-old bought 900,000 for $500 a month. The 40-year-old has to pay double every month to reach the same place. And someone starting at 50 pays a brutally steeper price than that, which is the actual lesson hiding inside the scary number. It was never, "You're too late." It's that every year you wait raises the monthly price of the life you want. So the single most powerful money move available to you is also the most boring one. Start the smallest amount you can today and let the doublings do the heavy lifting. So here's the whole shape of it. The first years of investing feel free because the gap is invisible. The last years feel like magic because the biggest doubling lands there. And the 10 years in between, the ones it's so easy to skip, quietly decide which of the two numbers you end up with. The good news is the math has no memory. It doesn't care that you didn't start at 25. It only cares about the next dollar and how many doublings it still has time to catch. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is the most boring, least dramatic moment there is, right now. One honest question before you go. If you could only fix one, would you rather go back and start 10 years earlier, or stay right where you are and double what you save from today? More time or more money? You know which one I'd take. Tell me yours in the comments. And if you want to see what that same $500 a month becomes when it's a $5 habit you barely notice, the real math of the daily latte, click right here.